Hello, welcome my students in grade 8. Using modifiers correctly, comparisons and placement. Firstly, what do we mean by a modifier? A modifier is the word or word group that makes the meaning of another word or word group more specific. There are two parts of speech are used as modifiers, adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives modify nouns and pronouns. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and the other adverbs. For example, Ramona makes beautiful weavings. Beautiful is an adjective because it modifies the noun weavings. And Ramona weaves beautifully. Beautifully is an adverb because it modifies the verb weaves. We have different examples here in our table for the adjectives and the adverbs. And how can we determine between the words? Is it an adjective or an adverb? How can we differentiate between them? For the first example, greyhounds are fast dogs. Fast, it modifies dogs as a noun, so fast is an adjective. On the other side, greyhounds run fast. So fast, it's an adverb because it modifies run as a verb. Another example, they took a late flight. Late is an adjective because it modifies the noun flight. On the other side, their flight arrived delayed. So late is an adverb because it modifies the verb arrived. Matt is my second cousin. Second is an adjective because it modifies the noun cousin. On the other side, Matt came in second. Second is an adverb because it modifies the verb came. Predicate modifier. Firstly, predicate modifier that follows the linking verb. And the most common linking verbs are, for example, grow, taste, seem, appear, smell, sound, stay, look, feel, and verb to be. His movements were awkward. Actually, awkward here is an adjective because it modifies the noun movements as the subject of the verb. He moved awkwardly. Awkwardly is an adverb because it modifies the verb moved as an action verb. Note some verbs can be used as either linking verbs or action verbs. As action verbs, they may be modified by adverbs. For example, when we say, when we asked whether to turn right or left, Greg looked blank. Blank, it means expressionless. So looked blank, blank is an adjective because it modifies the linking the verb looked. But if we use the same sentence, Greg looked blankly at the sign, blankly is an adverb because it modifies the action verb looked. Good and well, and how can we differentiate between them? Good is an adjective. It should be used to modify a noun or a pronoun. Well is used to modify a verb. For example, Whitney Houston's voice sounded very good to me. Good is an adjective because it modifies voice as a noun. In another example, Whitney Houston sang the national anthem very well. So well is an adverb because it modifies the verb, the action verb, sang. Well may be used either as an adjective or as an adverb. As an adjective, well has two meanings. Firstly, in good health or satisfactory as another meaning. Example, Ramel is well today. Well here in this example, it means in good health. Well, also, this is an adverb because well is used as an adjective because it modifies Ramel as a subject of a sentence. All's well. Again, well, it's used as an adjective here because it modifies well as a pronoun. and it means satisfactory. Feel good and feel well mean different things. Feel good means to feel happy or pleased. Feel well means to feel healthy. For example, I felt good when I got an A. It means I felt happy. He did not feel well after lunch. It means he did not feel healthy after lunch. Let's move to the comparison of modifiers. The specific form that's used depends on how many syllables the modifier has and how many things are being compared. In making comparisons, adjectives and adverbs take different forms. For example, this building is tall, no comparison, and this building is taller than that one, only one compared with another. And this building is the tallest one in the world, one compared with many others. As an adverb, I ski frequently in a comparison. I ski more frequently than she does. So one compared with another. Of the three of us, I ski most frequently, one compared with many others. The 3 degrees of comparison are the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. Let's look at this example in this table. In the positive form, sharp becomes sharper in the comparative and sharpest in the superlative. Quickly, in the positive form, becomes more quickly in the comparative and most quickly in the superlative. Regular comparison. Actually, we can divide the comparison into 2 divisions. The first one, that's the regular comparison, and the second one, irregular comparison. Let's have a look at firstly, the regular comparison. Number 1, most one-syllable modifiers form the comparative degree by adding ER and the superlative degree by adding EST. For example, in the positive form, cold becomes colder. We add ER in the comparative form, and the coldest, we add EST in the superlative form. And dry becomes drier. We drop Y and we add ER, and the driest in the superlative form. Number 2, 2-syllable modifiers form the superlative degree by adding ER or using more, and form the superlative degree by adding EST or using most. For example, easy, 2-syllable modifier, becomes easier in the comparative form and easiest in the superlative form, and often or often, 2-syllable modifier, so becomes more often, or in the superlative form, most often. Let's move now then the modifiers that composed of more syllables form the comparative degree by using more and the superlative degree by using most. For example, delicate in the positive form becomes more delicate in the comparative form and most delicate in the superlative form. Carefully in the positive form, comparative more carefully, superlative most carefully. And number 4, and the last division for the regular comparison to show a decrease in the qualities they express, modifiers form the comparative degree by using the less and the superlative degree by using the least. For example, safe in the positive form becomes a less safe to show a decrease in the qualities in the comparative form, and superlative least safe. Gracefully becomes in the comparative form less gracefully, and in the superlative form least gracefully. Irregular comparison. For the irregular comparison, the comparative and superlative degrees of some modifiers are not formed by the usual methods. Actually, they are different. For example, in the positive form, good or well becomes better in the comparative form and best in the superlative. Bad, worse, worst, much, many in the comparative form, more, and in the superlative, most. Little in the positive form becomes a less in the comparative form and the least in the superlative. Far becomes the farther or further in the comparative form and farthest or furthest in the superlative form. Use of comparative and superlative forms. Use of the comparative degree when comparing two things. Pay attention to it. And use the superlative degree when comparing more than two. For the comparative, the second problem is harder than the first. It means that we have already two problems and we compare between them. Of the two CD players, this one costs less. This is comparative. For the superlative, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States. And of the three dogs, that one bars the least. These are the superlative examples. Avoid using in the superlative degree to compare two things. Non-standard of the two plans, this is the best one. For the standard of the two plans, this is the better one. Don't use best as a superlative form when you compare between two things. And in this example, for the non-standard, Jupiter is larger than any planet in the solar system. Pay attention to include the word other or less when comparing one member of a group with the rest of a group. So the standard form of the correction, Jupiter is larger than any other planet in the solar system. Non-standard, Roland can type faster than anyone in his computer class. Roland cannot type faster than himself, so we need to correct it. In the standard form, Roland can type faster than anyone else in his computer class. Avoid using double comparisons. A double comparison is the use of both ER and more or less, or both EST and most or least to form a degree of comparison. So the rule here, comparisons should be formed in only one way. For the non-standard example here, the Asian elephant is more smaller than the African elephant. So if we'd like to correct it, we have to change the non-standard sentence now into a standard one. The Asian elephant is smaller than the African elephant. Only one way of comparison. Thank you so much for joining. Study hard and enjoy learning.